Hi, I'm Anne Gaviola. Welcome to The Peak on Global, where we break down what is trending in the business world and what you need to know to stay ahead of the curve. Joining me now is Jay Rosenthal from the Peak Podcast. Welcome, Jay.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you. There are a lot of big business stories this week, including deflation in China. But I do have to say that the Taylor Swift concert ticket story has absolutely taken on a life of its own. Jay, you and I both got waitlisted, which means that even though we registered, we did not get a crack at tickets from Ticketmaster. And have you seen what these Toronto tickets are asking for on the secondary market? I'd love to get your thoughts on this.
I am, because I'm tracking something I'm calling the Taylor Swift Toronto Ticket Index. That's something I'll be publishing on a regular basis over the next year and a couple months. But I am part of the 100% of people I know that didn't make it as a verified fan on Ticketmaster. And now I'm part of 100% of the people I know who are actively combing these reselling sites because I want to be a hero to my teenage daughter. But I am a big believer in waiting because prices do fluctuate and the concerts aren't happening until 2024. So I'm going to wait for the price to shake out a little bit, but also hope and pray that someone I know has a ticket that they want to generously offer me.
Just putting that call out there on national TV that Jay absolutely wants to be a Taylor Swift dad. I will say that I know exactly one person who has gotten one of those codes, and that's a really small percentage of the people that I know who wanted tickets. Now let's talk as well about the Taylor Swift effect on the economy, which is pretty incredible. The American Central Bank found that May was the strongest month for hotel revenue in Philadelphia since the onset of the pandemic in 2020. And that is mainly because all the people who booked a place to stay for her concerts. So it's going to be interesting to see the economic impact of her 6 shows in Toronto next year, which are the only ones that she's announced in Canada.
Yeah, I'm going to rent out my basement in exchange for a ticket. That's my game plan.
Okay, that's how you're going to earn those tickets, I guess. Our second topic is about Zoom. So the company that went from relative obscurity for most people to becoming a verb that everyone understands. It's asking employees who live within 80 kilometers of its offices to work on site a couple of days a week. It's a return to the office, even though it's partial, for the video conferencing pioneer. What do you think of this development, Jay?
I think this will be added to a line of an Alanis Morissette song. It is ironic, but I still think it's part of a trend that reverses the previous trend. But more and more companies, more and more of their employees to come to the office more and more, frankly. And anecdotally, I've seen Mondays and Fridays very slow on transit and traffic here in Toronto, with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday being much bigger. And I think we'll see even a bigger shift to more and more time in the office post-Labor Day when kids are back in school and HR departments start getting people back into corporate offices more so than they did sort of pre-summer, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've observed anecdotally that there is more traffic on the roads affecting my commutes. I've noticed, I've dubbed it, "Where are all the cars Wednesday?" because I actually find traffic to be pretty light on Wednesdays, except for when it's not. My ability to predict traffic is just absolutely gotten chucked out the window. Now, this third topic is about Zoocasa, having put together a list of the most affordable and also the least affordable places to live in Canada. This is based on average home prices relative to incomes. So let's start with the most affordable. So St. John, New Brunswick, where the median income is $79,000, but the average home goes for a little less than $300,000. Jay, are you ready to move there, or to Regina, which is also notably affordable?
I've spent a bunch of time in St. John, New Brunswick, and it is an amazing city and very livable. I'm sure Regina is lovely too, but I'm not moving to either place anytime soon, especially with the actually return to work trend from the previous story. I think a lot fewer people are actually going to be moving to those places because they're actually going to be called to the office more and more. But again, like, this is a big Canadian issue, aligning where their jobs and housing are a major challenge in Canada. We talk a lot about it on the podcast, and this is just, one iteration of it.
Absolutely, and I think that's why we decided to do these topics in this order. It segues so nicely into each other, doesn't it? So no big surprise, though, I do want to talk about the other side of the spectrum. The least affordable are what I sometimes refer to as the terrible two of housing. So Toronto and Vancouver. I can say that because I'm a homeowner in Toronto. I'm allowed to say things like that. Jay, you've just recently completed renos on your place, also in Toronto, coincidentally. Where's my invitation to your housewarming?
Well, we're going to plan a fall bash, and you are on the list. All it's going to take to get in is a Taylor Swift ticket.
Oh, that's pretty steep. Have your people call my people. Now, our final topic is so very apropos, since we've got you in the hosting chair. Our final headline is Canopy's $42 million Q1 loss. So this from a cannabis giant that is noticeably streamlined now, or as its executives put it, asset light, I think was the term that they used, apparently ready to compete in turbulent cannabis markets. What's happening at Canopy, and is it kind of symptomatic of or emblematic of the industry at large?
It's both a Canopy thing and an industry thing sort of combined. And the industry is in challenging times for sure. We talk about it a lot, both here and in the US, where people are buying more and more cannabis. That's the nut of how to supply that cannabis and those brands profitably really has yet to be cracked. And Canopy was once the largest cannabis company in the world, which is incredibly exciting, based in Smith Falls, Ontario, no less. But that was long ago, and the industry has changed and the market has changed. And as you mentioned, Canopy has changed. In advance of this, I was reading through the press releases from Canopy from the third quarter of 2018. So this time, right before legalization in Canada, and the company was touting their, frankly, asset-heavy approach, building out and acquiring cultivation, processing, manufacturing facilities, growing their brick-and-mortar retail footprint, and even building a visitor center in Smith Falls. It turns out that was not a path to success, obviously, and cannabis, Canopy found that out, and a lot of other industry players here in Canada did as well.
Yeah, just a reminder that in certain industries in cannabis, certainly a lot can change, a lot can turn on a dime. Thanks so much as a cannabis insider for sharing all of that insight and information.
It's great. I mean, it's not great for Canopy, but it was good to lead on this from a Canadian perspective as the industry evolves in North America.
Absolutely. News you can use. Thanks so much, Jay Rosenthal. And you can get all your daily business news with the Peak Daily podcast. It is available for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts.